Hello, learners. We're going to be reading the article Cell Specialization today out of the unit Structure and Function. The blue whale is one of the largest living organisms on Earth, while a certain species of bacterium is the smallest. What do these organisms have in common? They both began life as a single cell. In fact, most living organisms start out as a single cell. If the living things start out as one cell, why are there so many different sizes of organisms? Are some cells really big while others are really small? Do some cells stretch out or inflate to make an organism bigger? The answer comes down to numbers. In terms of scale, the majority of cells that make up an organism are microscopic. This means that the number of cells you have determines your size. The larger an organism, the more cells it has. Bacteria, a type of prokaryote, remains just one cell. And that cell is about 10 times smaller than a eukaryotic cell. This is why there are small organisms on Earth. The cell of eukaryotic organisms, on the other hand, are each about the same size regardless of the actual size of the organism. For example, the size of the cells of a blue whale are about the same size as the cells of a mushroom. A blue whale just has more cells, making it larger in overall size. One way scientists organize living things is by how many cells they have. An organism falls into two main groups, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular organisms have only one cell. Bacteria, plankton, amoeba, and other protozoa are examples of unicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms have more than one cell, and often millions or trillions of cells. Plants and animals, including humans, fall in the multicellular category. Scientists estimate that adult humans have about 37.2 trillion cells. That's 3.72 times 10 to the 13th cells. In all organisms, one cell becomes two cells through the process of cell division. With a unicellular organism such as an amoeba, the cell division process is very simple. One amoeba divides and forms two individuals. Each cell is a distinct and separate organism. Each cell is the process of cell division within unicellular organisms is much more complex. Each cell goes through several phases to produce another cell. The new cell is not a complete organism on its own, but it is part of a physical system that allows the organism to live, grow, and repair itself. Compare and contrast the unicellular and multicellular organisms shown in the table above. It may seem that unicellular organisms have a distinct disadvantage when compared to multicellular organisms. But unicellular organisms have a valuable advantage. The process of cell division is very simple. This makes it easy and quick for unicellular organisms to reproduce. Almost all body cells in multicellular organisms carry the exact same genetic material as in their nuclei. This is because every cell in the body is descendant of the first cell, or zygote. The first cell is created when a single egg cell is fertilized by a single sperm cell, forming a zygote. The zygote then undergoes cell division, forming a multicellular organism. As part of the cell division process, certain genes in a cell's nucleus may be selectively activated or inactivated. This process produces structural changes and results in different shapes and different sizes of cells. It also fits the cell to perform different functions. This process of specialization is called cell differentiation. Humans have more than 200 types of specialized cells. For example, we have nerve cells that specialize in processing information our bodies receive, and red blood cells that carry oxygen. We also have cells that make up the lining of our stomach. Those cells secrete mucus that coats and protects our stomach from stomach acid and enzymes needed to break down food. The human body, like the bodies of most multicellular organisms, is composed of different systems and subsystems that work together and allow the body to function. As cells specialize, they become part of one of these systems. The digestive system, respiratory system, muscular system, and circulatory system are all made up of specialized cells that work together to digest your food, exchange gases, allow you to move, and circulate blood. The same coordination between types of cells that take place in the human body takes place in other multicellular organisms as well. The beetle may not have as many specialized cells as you do, but it does have its own cell systems that allow it to survive and grow. You're also going to want to look at the table here, which compares unicellular and multicellular organisms. I'll read them to you. Unicellular organisms consist of a single cell. Some, such as bacteria, are prokaryotic. Others, such as protists, are single-celled fungi, are eukaryotic. All functions, such as eating and removing waste, are carried out by a single cell. An injury to the cell can cause death. It's a very simple cell division process. Cell division results in a new organism, and they have a short lifespan. Multicellular organisms have many cells. They are eukaryotic. This includes plants, animals, and protists and fungi. Specialized cells and structures perform specific functions. An injury usually can be repaired by the process of creating new cells. And there's an outer layer of cells that protect the organism from the environment. It goes through a complicated cell division process. Cell divisions result in growth or repair of an organism, and they have a long lifespan. So once again, this was cell specialization from Structure and Functions.